All right, everyone. How's it going? This is Joey Womack, founder, CEO of Goodie Nation, and we are in for a treat today. We have some awesome people going to tell some awesome stories about how they came to be. This is another episode of Prequel, Origin Stories and Inflection Points by Goodie Nation, and it's a very special edition. This is the first episode of the Origin Stories of the Google for Startups Black Founders Fund 3. So here's why we believe at Goodie Nation, origin stories are important. So at Goodie Nation, we're focused on closing what we call the relationship gap. This is the lack of connection between entrepreneurs and those that are influential, particularly in tech. And what we found that Black founders, Latinx founders, women founders, and also social entrepreneurs from all backgrounds typically have a difficult time getting connected to influential people in tech than their counterparts. And so what does that mean? It means, typically speaking, a lack of access to capital, but it also leads to lack of access to customers, to talent, to advice, which all leads to higher levels of stress for founders. And then also, ultimately, it reduces the likelihood of them being successful. So at Goodie Nation, we want to create relationships between the awesome founders in the program and awesome people like yourself who are watching today. So coming from hearing these stories, we love to see you all kind of develop somewhat of a relationship with these awesome individuals, with these dope individuals. I believe that you'll see a little bit of yourself in their stories. And again, that'll start the pathway to some magic happening. So enough for me. Let's get right to the good people and hear a little bit of their introductions. And then after everyone does an introduction, we'll go and start the show. So Hassan, I want to kick it to you. Tell us a little bit about, your name, company, where you're checking in from in the world, and the quick 1-2 sentence description of the company itself.
Good morning, my good people. Great to chat with you. My name is Hassan Riggs, the founder and CEO at Smart Alto. And I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, but I'm calling in today from Washington, D.C. And Smart Alto is the world's first and only conversational sales platform for local service providers. We're the simplest way for local service providers like real estate agents or mortgage professionals to find a list of homeowners and set a meeting without cold calling. Because think about it. When is the last time you answered the phone from someone you didn't know? It probably didn't happen, right? So that's what we're all about. And I'm excited to chat with you today.
Awesome. And today we have the two co-founders of MedTransGo here. Kick it over to that team.
Hey, so nice to be here today. My name is Dana Weeks. As you said, I'm one of the co-founders of MedTransGo, and I am calling in from Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm originally from Vietnam, but grew up in New York, both in the city and upstate New York. And we are solving the $150 billion problem of cancellations in healthcare. So awesome. I'm going to pass it over to my co-founder, who I met at Stanford many years ago.
Oh, I think you're on mute.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Joey, for this opportunity. My name is Dr. Ugwonali, co-founder and president of MedTransGo. As Dana said, we are solving a major problem in the healthcare ecosystem, originally from Nigeria, but now in Atlanta, where I practice as an orthopedic surgeon.
Awesome. I want to kick it over to BJ.
Good morning, everyone. I'm BJ Wiley-Williams, founder and CEO of SoHookd. We are an enterprise-based online wellness platform, and we're really focused on creating wellness equity and really supporting health plans as they support their employer groups around well-being and driving loyalty and engagement. Our company is based out of DC, although today I'm calling in from Massachusetts. I'm originally from Boston.
Awesome. Kyla?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kyla. I'm the CEO and founder of WizKit Learning. We are a global online learning platform and community for future-focused students. We deliver live online coding, STEM, and tech-focused classes to kids ages 4 to 18. And right now I'm calling in from Toronto.
Awesome. Well, let's get to the stories, right? This is what we're really here for. Really excited to hear from these dope entrepreneurs who have, I think, some dope journeys to get where they are today. So I want to kick it over to Hassan for your origin story, good sir.
Cool. So My first introduction to entrepreneurship is when I was 7 years old. My mom, who was a pharmacist for 30 years, right? She started writing and selling children's books. And when I was 7, she would take me down to the flea market in Childersburg, Alabama, and Birmingham, and we would sell children's books. And I was responsible for cutting the children's books and then stapling the pages together. And so, quick note, never let a 7-year-old be responsible for product development or stapling together children's books. But that was my first lesson into entrepreneurship. And one of the things my mom taught me is that it's not about having, the most important thing you can do is ask the right questions. Because if you can ask the right questions, then you can change your life. You can change the trajectory of a business, of your life, of society. And so that's one of the first things that she taught me when I was young. And I've always kept that with me. When I was 16 years old, I started selling Cutco knives, going door to door in Birmingham, Alabama. And I was pretty good at that. I got my client-facing skills pretty early in life. And so as I went to college, I continued to kind of create businesses and played around with things. And one of the things that I knew is I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, how that was going to kind of find itself in my life. So I always tried to be good at finding problems to solve, just taking a look around at my personal life and thinking about the problems that I came into contact with every day. And I became pretty good at that. When I was in college, one of the interesting things that happened is I had 2 businesses. One was like a marketing promotions company, and one I had some vending machines. But on the side, I also was a inside sales agent at a real estate brokerage. And the reason that's important is because what an inside sales agent does, they're responsible for prospecting, for new homeowners, for circle prospecting, for making sure that a real estate agent can talk to qualified people on the phone. And so fast forward a decade in my life, where now I've gone to graduate school and I've started online businesses. Some of them have failed, and I worked in mergers and acquisitions and business development. I had all of these experiences. And in 2017, I remembered that problem that I faced 10 years earlier when I was in college. And I thought about, these local service providers, real estate agents, mortgage professionals, the main way that they go about generating new business for themselves is cold calling. And people hate cold calling. The most expensive thing that a sales professional can do is talk to an unqualified prospect on the phone. And the thing they hate doing is cold calling, because you don't know if the person you're calling, they're going to answer the phone. You don't know if that person who's going to pick up the phone is qualified. And so I thought about that very deeply. And I wanted to make sure that we could put real estate agents, local service providers on the phone with qualified prospects so they could grow their business and make more money. And that began the journey of Smart Alto. And as I mentioned earlier, Smart Alto is the world's first and only conversational sales platform for local service providers. We're the simplest way for local service providers to find a list of homeowners and set a meeting without cold calling. Over the past 3 years, we've gone by 2x, 50% and 50%. And we're doing for local service providers like real estate agents, we're bringing them into the modern age of selling, the way companies like SalesLoft and Outreach are doing for sales development reps. So I'm excited to continue the journey. I've got a lot of passion and a lot of momentum with the company right now. And so I believe that, partnering with Goodie Nation and Google for Startups is only going to take us to the next level.
Awesome. So as a former in college, like doing marketing promotions, I feel you. I feel like there's a kindred spirit here. Okay. So how can people get in contact with you or find out more about Smart Alto?
You can find out more about me at Twitter at Hassan May Riggs. And then you can find out more about Smart Alto at smartalto.com. SMARTALTO.com.
Awesome. Good stuff. Okay. So next up, we have a co-founding team and want to hear more about how they came to be. I'm going to kick it to the MedTransGo team, and you kind of take it from there.
Great. Oh, you want to start?
Yeah. So my name again is Dr. Ugwonali. I am an orthopedic surgeon here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been practicing orthopedic surgery for about 16 years. I experienced cancellations in the past, but they were one here and there But one day, about 7 years ago, I had two major cancellations that was very expensive for me, the surgery center, the anesthesia team, which ended up costing us over $100,000 in one day, and basically about 4 or 5 hours that we weren't able to do anything. We couldn't really retrieve that time. This experience caused me to realize that this is a major problem. And it happened that those cancellations were caused by one, the next door neighbor that was supposed to bring the patient to the surgery center ended up not being able to do so. And then also the Spanish interpreter that was supposed to interpret for my Spanish speaking patient didn't show up. As a board certified doctor, I didn't trust, the rideshare companies to take my patient from their home, bring them home, and then after anesthesia, take them home. So there was nothing on the, as far as a digital solution to solve the problem of cancellations for me. And so I realized that this was a major problem for the healthcare industry, and realized it was a $150 billion problem. And that's when we decided to figure out a digital solution and build this incredible company. And then fortunately, I was able to partner with Dana on this, and I'll let her describe to you what we've done since we've launched this company in 2018.
Well, yeah, great. I mean, I will also say I am an entrepreneur at heart. And so when the opportunity came to bring together healthcare and technology to find a solution, I was very excited to be a part of it, and being able to solve the problem. But I also love being able to build this team that's representative and diverse and growing in that way. And we really have been able to show traction and really show that this problem of cancellations not only impacts those healthcare providers who are our customers who want to maybe increase that revenue or reduce cancellation and do better patient care, but it solves the problem for patients, and it solves the problem for these service partners who have the capacity and want to be able to connect and be the driver and be the interpreter to be able to get patients there on time.
Yeah. So, basically we've created this, end-to-end platform that has transportation, interpretation, that allows folks to be able to order services from service providers that are qualified with excess capacity to make sure that the services are delivered in a safe and reliable way. And because of that, we've been able to grow the company, bring in some incredible folks as our team members, and really have launched an incredible business that was able to be recognized by Google Ventures. So really appreciate that.
Awesome. So how can people get in contact with you, either personally and or the company?
So you can reach us individually at Dana at MedTransGo or Obi at MedTransGo. But our website is MedTransGo.com, and we're on LinkedIn. We're on the social media platforms, and we're excited to speak more with everybody.
Awesome. Cool. Well, next up we have BJ. Kind of similarly in the health space to a certain extent. So BJ, what's your origin story? How'd you get here?
Yeah. So, as a Black female founder, I've been extremely fortunate to have grown up in a household, kind of like Hassan, that exposed me to entrepreneurship at an early age. My mom has been a successful social entrepreneur. My dad founded one of the largest Black law firms at the time. So I grew up in a household that very much encouraged risk-taking, empowered me to kind of use passion as my compass. And I've really sort of viewed entrepreneurship as one of the most successful ways to not only build wealth for your community, but also close one of the many gaps that exists out there due to years of systemic racism, whether it's through policy or discriminatory practices, whether it's the wealth gap, the achievement gap, or the health and sort of wellness and equity gap. And so, my passion has always been, how can I enhance people's quality of life? Personally, I'm a wellness nerd and fitness enthusiast. I spent the majority of my career after graduating from Harvard Business School working for industry-leading companies in both the hospitality and wellness sector. Wellness has always been one of the most positive anchors in my life, physically, mentally, spiritually. And sort of the mission of SoHookd is really to inspire healthy lifestyles and unlock access to wellness for all. So just to kind of take a step back, historically, wellness is often treated like a privilege because it was for years left out of the healthcare delivery model. And, as an African-American female, I was extremely agitated by this narrative because this disproportionately affects Black and brown folks. Look, I know I was privileged. I had access to aspirational offerings that can fuel my mind, body, and soul because I had access to disposable income to be able to take advantage of this sort of consumer luxury good market in the wellness industry. But I believe everyone should have access to these aspirational offerings. And thus we are really focused on making wellness more inclusive and affordable, really without sacrificing desirability, so that we can play our part in closing the wellness equity gap. So in addition to like a lot of other industries, the wellness industry is extremely fragmented. So when I came out of the hospitality space, I was used to aggregators and curators out there because the hospitality space is extremely fragmented. So I was used to those sort of entities bringing everything together. And I saw that was really missing, especially on the enterprise side. In the wellness space was really the emphasis around SoHookd. Like, we are a hub for wellness. We bring all these amazing experiences that are out there in the consumer space, whether it's healthy food, whether it's fitness, whether it's rest and recovery, and we bring it into a meaningful way that organizations like health plans can unlock when they're trying to support their members. So what's really interesting is, in the US, our healthcare is, for a large part, over half of the US population, healthcare is delivered through employer-sponsored healthcare. And so both for their medical as well as their preventative care. And so what's happened, and this pandemic has exacerbated this trend, is that supporting holistic well-being has become a top and urgent priority because it's urgent for employees, because employees want to be supported both mentally and physically. Employers are now scrambling to find solutions that meet the needs of them, and they're relying on their health plan partners to provide these high impact solutions that are inclusive and meaningful for all their employees, like we do at SoHookd. So, one of the best things that's been part of this journey is I'm a collaborator, and I've had the privilege of collaborating with an amazing team of people that, I bring a lot of sort of the wellness expertise, but I've partnered with people that bring technology as well as consumer experience and engagement. But I think the most important thing is we all have this shared value around really and commitment around unlocking access to wellness for more people. So just as context for the company, I think I mentioned, we're based out of Washington, D.C. We started the company in 2017. We spent our early years really focused on understanding the market landscape. And so we started partnering with third-party partners like a Blue Cross Blue Shield, so that, I didn't understand healthcare. And like the other teams out there, healthcare is a really complicated ecosystem. And so we really wanted to make sure that we understood the ecosystem before we launched our product. Our product was launched in the fall of 2020. We've completely have taken advantage of all the tailwinds out there. We're really excited about our momentum. We have over 3.5 million in revenue for our trailing 12 months. We work with over 70 customers and partners, including companies like Aetna, United Health, Cigna, Morgan Stanley, Planned Parenthood. And, I think one of the things that's really exciting is that we're delivering sort of value out there, and there's clear and sort of need in the market. So we're at a really exciting inflection point for the company right now. So excited to be part of the Goodie Nation and the Google for Startups family as we continue to build and grow and really sort of lead out our mission of unlocking access and creating wellness equity.
Awesome. So how can people get in contact with you?
Yes. So feel free to contact me directly at BJ at SoHookd. And our website is www.sohookd.com. And SoHookd is spelled SoHookd. And of course, like others, we're on all the social platforms.
Awesome. So next up, it was certainly not least, we have a great story from Kyla.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm Kyla. I'm the founder and CEO of WizKit Learning. I would say throughout my entire life, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I graduated preschool and they asked me what I want to be when I grow up, I said a boss. So entrepreneurship was really very much in the future for me, but I didn't think it would happen as early as it ended up happening. So I had planned to go into consulting after university. I went to Tufts University in Boston. In the summer before my senior year, I had a consulting internship that ended up getting canceled. So I was scrambling for a job last minute, and I really wanted to do something that would not only align with something that I was interested in, but maybe be something that I could tell future employers, hey, look, at least I did something this summer. And that year, I helped create a club at school called Tufts Business Opportunity Council that helped get Black and Brown and women students into jobs in corporate America after they graduated. And one of the things that we were seeing is that if you had engineering skills or if you were a computer science major, you were more likely and more easily able to get jobs after you graduated. And then looking back to my childhood, I taught myself how to code when I was young. However, it wasn't something that was accessible at the schools I went to. I went to boarding school outside of New York City in New Jersey, and they didn't have coding classes accessible to everyone at that school. And many of my friends weren't able to take coding classes when they were in high school too. So it was something that you ended up not really being able to pursue even further. And then when I did more just research into the industry, I noticed that this is something that kids could learn at a very young age. So we actually did the first program at a church that my family is a part of, and they gave us the space for free, and we decided to do a in-person coding camp for kids as young as 7. And it went really, really well. And the kids loved it. I think one of the things that was most exciting is that the kids, many of them had no idea what coding was. They did not know that there were jobs out there that, could be technical, that weren't doctor, lawyer, accountant, which sounds crazy in this day and age, but they just didn't know. And from that really awesome camp, we ended up growing. So it ended up not just being something that was just a summer project. I decided to stick with it. And then in 2020, or rather 2019, I wanted to really focus on making sure the company was online based, so not in person based, because I wanted it to be scalable. And then thinking back to my childhood in Bermuda, as I said, I learned how to code when I was younger. I taught myself how to develop my own websites. And unlike the sports I played, where it was really easy for my parents to find expert coaches and other kids for me to play against, when it came to my tech pursuits, my educational pursuits, I felt like I was learning a lot of this in a silo, which is hard as a kid, having to teach yourself something that you're super, super passionate about. But then also, you don't have other like-minded kids around you to just like geek out about the stuff that you're interested in. And it becomes hard to actually grow that momentum for your passions when you're just doing it by yourself. It's hard as an adult, and it's even harder as a kid. So one of the inflection points for taking us online was the fact that we wanted kids everywhere globally to be able to find like-minded learners that were interested in the same thing that they were interested in. And then as well as learn these important tech-focused skills that they need to learn, but they're not necessarily getting in their traditional education. So we built out our own e-learning platform and community for kids with integrated video, classroom pages, etc., where kids could come on, find like-minded learners, and delve really into projects and subjects that they're really super passionate about. And now we've partnered with over 20 cities. We have students from over 30 different countries industries. Parents could buy the classes directly from our platform, as well as we have a partnership model where students in Boys and Girls Clubs or city programs or associated with a brand or a sports camp can get our courses through them. And we just closed our seed round. So we're hoping to be able to connect with more children and really create this awesome space where kids from all over the world could come and find like-minded learners.
So a few things.
No.
the quote of the episode, actually maybe the history of like the prequel episodes, is just boss. Like I think that's like the new thing. Like, what do you want to be? Boss. It just keep just like like drop the mic, keep it moving. I love that you said that all those years ago. Two, congratulations on the recent seed round. And then finally, how can people get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you could contact me directly at my email, Kyla@wizkidcoding.com, or you could go to our website, wizkidlearning.com, or hit me up on LinkedIn.
Awesome. So I told you all, you're in for a treat, right? You are in for an absolute treat. So here's the thing. Now that you've heard these awesome stories, these dope stories by these dope founders, I need you all to do some dope stuff. I got one ask. We call it being intentionally good here at Goodie Nation, and that's the support. So Dr. Key Holloman here in Atlanta says, from Village Market, says support is a verb, and so it's about action, right? So I have an ask. When we say being intentionally good, there's like a few things you could do, right? You can become a customer or a user. You can become an investor, or you can become a partner. Now, if you can't do any of those things for various reasons, maybe they're not in your space or whatever, I think there's, somebody in your network that can do so. I feel very strongly there's someone in your network. So my ask to you is, if you could spend 30 minutes today thinking about who in your network can support them, either become a user or a customer, either become an investor or a partner, or anything like that, right? So our ask is simply just to support them. So it's what we call being intentionally good. They've given you their contact information, but you can also look at the link here at the bottom of the screen to learn more about them, as well as the other recipients of the Google for Startups Black Founders Fund 3 and all the historical recipients as well, right? All you have to do is click on find their card, click on it. You'll see a little bit more information about them, including their website and LinkedIn and so on and so forth. There's a link that says warm intro. You can click on that to get in contact with them as well. Again, we consider that being what we call intentionally good. Another small thing you can do, which if you're watching this right now, whether you're on LinkedIn or your Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, simply share more about their story. You can share this episode. You could also share, their website and things of that nature. You can share on social media, right? That's something I think we can all do. And again, it's called being intentionally good. So again, my name is Joey Womack, founder, CEO of Goodie Nation. And thanks for tuning in for another episode of Prequel Origin Stories and Inflection Points, a special edition for the Google for Startups Black Founders Fund 3. That's it for today, y'all. Peace out, stay magnetic, and outwork yesterday.